So you can advertise in the Metro for a housemate using 50 words. 50 words to describe the hallways, the staircases, maybe one sentence for the desired applicant. I live alone. Single my entire adult life. I think I'd make an okay girlfriend if we could begin our beginning at the 1 year end, past the whole holding in a fart in bed, because my sense of romance is dead on arrival. And trust me, I'm not looking for a revival, but if I was, I'd want to write my own ad. Because see, when I'm sad, all I want's mashed potatoes, but when I'm happy, I'm all about that Prosecco, and I love cats, but I'm just so allergic. But I'd feel really bad with a dog because I'm quite cynical, and there's nothing about me at all that's clinical apart from my addiction to brushing my teeth, because stuff like that matters. My first house after uni halls, I'm 19, queen of the drama club, subpar at writing essays, but expert at spending all my days down by a loch, drinking cider, under this endless reaching grey cloud, threatening rain. We didn't care, we were home, and there was all this room to grow, and no walls to echo the sound of. I lived in a chalet, picturesque enough to suggest a Swiss ski instructor waiting naked inside by the fire, ready to teach you his slopes, but there wasn't, there was just me, and my best friend Katie, and 3 other incredible girls who were all LGBT. They never opened their doors. Habit, I guess. It was here that they called me a breeder. Down noses full of scorn, born from always having to tuck their chin. These girls were my family and my home, but they made our life this us against them, and one that I could never win. We decorated together, but I never got round to unboxing my sexuality, and no one knew, because there was no label on the side. And don't get me wrong, I have pride, but in all the things that make me me, and not just who I wake in the morning with a cup of tea. I was educated by these girls in all things LGBT, LGBTQ, LGBTQI, LGBTQI, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I never had any fucking clue what I was allowed to say. And I knew they would all of a sudden take my side if I just said to them that I was bi or gay, but honestly, I've never been able to find a word or scale that I could accurately place this heart on. But if I did, it'd be really fucking stupid. Like, I am a proud, heart-skipping beats as you walk bisexual. Everything I need fits in this backpack sexual. Your hand fits my everywhere perfectly sexual. Read me your favourite stories out loud sexual. I am no one buys a house for the plumbing sexual. It doesn't matter to me where there's curves or where there's planes or where your hair grows, because heaven knows we all have hallways made of veins, windows to our souls, and 4 chambers where we can lie down and rest. So open your doors and invite me in. Show me the floors that you spilled the red wine on. Show me the last place you cried on. Show me the cracks. I'll fix some, but I'll leave the rest. A coat of paint would be a lie, and we would be so less interesting. And then I'll open mine. Show you the quotes I wrote behind the radiator, and the secret cupboard that I had my first vibrator, the star stickers on the door that I've never been able to get off. And then we'll move and paint new walls with all the colours of our wonder, and we'll line all the boring spaces with rows upon rows of bookcases, name every doorframe, baptise them with pencil marks. We will chart birthdays, promotions, rainy days, growth. I would say all this and more, but I only have 50 words. So in my one ad, I'll simply say, this detached house has been empty for a while and is seeking a resident. Room for growth, but plenty of space to dance. Needs some work, but is structurally sound, so come on round and see for yourself. Kettle's on, and the door is always open. My name is Sarah Grant, and that poem was called Apply Within. I'm actually not sure why I wanted to write that poem. I mean, I use house metaphors a lot in my poetry, and I don't know why. I just like the idea of somewhere safe to be in love. But yeah, I guess I wanted to kind of share that I'm all about what really makes a person and not anything else. I just like people. I predominantly write for films. What I do for my job and outside of my work, I write a lot of films. Poetry is where I come to explore all the ideas that I wouldn't be able to put in a film, so things that are really quite personal to me, or things that would just make a rubbish film but I want to talk about. For example, I've got a poem about how I grew up with an overcrowded mouth of like 7 extra teeth, and then I got braces and my teeth were fine, which really was a big part of my life, but it'd be a crap film, but I found poetry for it. I always really liked watching poetry videos online, and there was lots from the States, and I just didn't think it would translate to my accent, to be honest. So as much as I was wanting to get into writing, I didn't think it was kind of for me, and it was actually a sad circumstance, to be honest. But I had a friend who passed away, and I was during his illness, I was helping him out write a comic and try and carry on a film that he was writing. So I'd seen a lot of really horrible stuff to do with his illness while trying to still be creative. So when he passed away, I was this mixed up mess of what I'd seen and a story about an astronaut, and I had no idea what to do with it. So the poem just kind of vomited out of me, and I shared it, and quite a lot of people who knew him said that it helped. And I think I realised that one, it doesn't have anything to do with accents, and two, if you got a story that you got to tell, then you should tell it, because people will respond positively. Nothing poetry-wise. I'm kind of always juggling my next film, and poetry kind of like slots in the way. I've kind of got a personal goal that I've never done anything at the Fringe. I'd really love to do something at the Fringe, so I've got an idea for a story that I think would make a nice Fringe show that I'm going to try write as a kind of performance poetry piece, but we'll see how that goes. I'd probably still consider myself a new poet, to be honest. I'd say to new poets, there's absolutely nothing that stops you from writing. If you want, you can write something and then put it under your mattress and leave it for years. You can write something and tear it up and put it in the bin if you're not happy with it, but write it down. If you've got something that you want to get from here out, then it will help you in so many ways. But I would say that even if you find it scary, you should, and you want to share it, then there is no friendlier environment or scene than the kind of spoken word poetry scene. I went along my first time and just met so many lovely people who all kind of came up and said that they liked what I had to say and they wanted to hear more, and that's how it started. So I'd say do that. Apart from, well, like I said, I do a lot of filmmaking, and that's a real process that could take up to 2 years. The good thing about poetry is that you can write something and then perform it the next day and kind of get instant feedback, and you don't get that in films. But also, I'd say the most rewarding thing that's come out of my experience is the people that I've met. Sounds like such an awkward thing to say, but it's really hard to make new friends as an adult. So it's really nice to kind of go to a new scene and have new people to meet and new projects to get involved with and collaborate with all these incredible creative and passionate people. So that's probably been my favourite thing about the whole experience. That poem that I just did, Apply Within, it's probably the first time that I've ever said, like, kind of out loud, that I like both girls and boys, and I felt really brave saying it, because although I don't think I've ever been in at all, it's just I was like, well, I'm actually saying it out loud. And the first time I performed it was at a Loud Poets gig, and it was quoted in the Herald, and I'm like, guess I'm out now. So I'm like, Mum, I'm in the Herald. Oh, I'd probably say The Wizard of Oz, because it doesn't matter what I'm feeling, I could be at my lowest point, there's nothing about that film that doesn't make me happy. So I'd say The Wizard of Oz.